Hello, hi, it's Bova Builds, back again with another Planet Zoo speed build video. Today, we're going back to our Twitch Livestream Series, the Franklin County Metropark Zoo, to take a look at some of the empty spaces on our map. We have two really large empty spaces here right in front of our Lemur Lounge, and it's a good idea to go back and fill these in. So the Lemur Lounge is based on an outdoor aviary that's in Jurong Bird Park in Jurong? I am butchering this word. It's in Singapore. It's the largest bird park in Asia, or it was. It closed only a few weeks ago at the time of this recording, but it should be open later this year as Bird Paradise. So the park is operated by the Mandai Wildlife Reserve. I am going to be butchering every single word in this. I am so sorry. and this is a very specific aviary that I built this off of. It's the Birds of Prey building. It was built in 2019 and it features the Andean condor, the king vulture, and the Philippine eagle. Well, now it houses my white-ruffed, red-ruffed, and ringtail lemurs in a sort of indoor-outdoor kind of aviary system for the lemurs. So they're able to hang out in the sun in this big closed-in playground for each one of the species, and then they can go into these male chutes overhead. The keepers can look at them overhead as they climb over. We'll take a view of them as the video goes on. I promise that I'll give an overview of the lemurs during the live section of the build, but I wanted to make sure that I touched base on this before I got comments saying, hey, what is this huge building in the background? I know we're talking about minimal spaces here, but what is that? So I found the image actually on Pinterest. So if anybody needs inspiration for what to build next in their Planet Zoo, by all means, check out Pinterest. It is a wealth of knowledge for interesting habitat builds, architecture designs, and more. That's definitely where I've gotten inspiration in the past, and I'm gonna continue getting inspiration from there in the future. So I get this a lot, like what do you do with liminal space? There's a lot of things you can do with that actually. We get that all the time, all these little empty spots between habitats and areas that you need to fill in, right? Otherwise it looks pretty awkward, kind of empty. So let's go over the big things. I have like 4 sections here that we need to take a look at. Like guest needs is number 1, right? Take a look at your guest, see how far it's been since they've been to a toilet, right? A rest area, maybe they need some benches, some tables, something to like cool off, rest off. Maybe we put down some cool down tents with misters in them, especially if you have a arid climate, deserty zoo. You might need to have some rest areas with shade that they can go and hang out in. Education spots, you know, like what kind of props, what kind of areas are they going to go in and learn more about the conservation efforts, the zoo, the animals around them? What more signage, what more can you do for that? Food and drink. How long has it been since your guests had something to eat? You can absolutely get away with just doing a little bit of vending machines here and there, or you might want to put down, like what I'm doing here, with a coffee shop and toilet on the side. You know, they have to get your morning cup of joe here by the lounge, the Lemur Lounge. Gifts. How are you gonna rack in that money? I know everybody has complicated opinions on some of these gift shops, especially when it comes to the balloons and the big heads. Like I know it can make your guests look pretty goofy here, but a nice little trick there is that you can go into your balloons section and turn off all of the normal balloons and turn on the animal shaped balloons. So it's a quick little thing that you can do to like mix it up there in your zoo. And also the Just a Mementos, they don't actually have an in-game item, so you can use those instead. Actually, there's a lot of things you can do just to make up guest areas. You can make a nursing area for mothers with infants. You can make a kind of stroller parking area, maybe a guest services so that guests can go in and learn more about the zoo, or maybe some maps that they can go in and get, or perhaps a locker room that they can go ahead and lock up their coats, their bags, their coolers. Maybe they came in with some food that they can come back to. Try to make a story around your zoo. Staff needs. You could always use another keeper hut or staff room. Actually, that's what we're putting in our second empty space, a big staff room so the keepers can go in there and relax. How about backstage areas? Owning a zoo means you have to take care of a lot of things, not just animals, but also how the zoo functions. Maybe it's a good idea to set up some offices, some compost areas, feeding stations, stables and holding pens for quarantined animals. What happens when one of your animals gets pregnant? They need to be separated from the rest of the herd, right? Otherwise they might jeopardize the infant. Have some fun and make up some things. Make a story around your zoo. It's not a bad idea. And lastly, nature. What natural features help sell the vibe of your zoo? Water features, monuments, rock croppings. They're perfect for statues, especially those that came with the DLC. Those DLC statues fit in really well with the aquatic rocks. You can absolutely shape them to fit your zoo. But also, let's look at exactly what we're building here. I have this huge lounge area to work with, and what I wanted to do was to make sure that my guests had something that they could do between all the lemurs that they're looking at. So I placed down a coffee shop and a toilet in one area, and on the other section, I wanted to place down a simple staff rest area so that the educators, while they're coming in here, they could take a break. Now that we have the new touring system, the guest tours from the Grasslands DLC, I know it wasn't part of the DLC, but it was part of the update that went with the DLC, that now the guests can go on tours. And during these tours, you can have intermissions. And if the intermission lines up just in front of this Lemur Lounge, it'd be a good idea for the staff to also take a break, as well as the guests. So when they take a break, it's a good idea for the staff to go and recuperate and revitalize themselves over in their lounge, while the guests can go and grab a coffee or use the restroom or just sit back and relax and look at the lemurs. And these weren't really complicated builds. We made a foundation of the Twilight cobblestone, and then on top of it we placed the plaster from the base game. And around the sides, I went ahead and grabbed some of the wood paneling that they used for the bridges from the European pack. And to detail each one of the buildings, I grabbed some of the pillars, the wood pillars, or are they beams? Which ones are they, beams or pillars? Either way, they're plexi-color pieces of wood that match the wood, detailing they have around the building. So it was a really cool idea just to have these nice stylized buildings and also work with FlexiColor. I feel like FlexiColor is something that you should always be clicking on when you're looking at the properties of the building. There are a few in-game textures that definitely work well without it being FlexiColor, right? Like the base game brick from the release of Planet Zoo. But personally, I like the FlexiColor pieces. It's something along the lines of making things a bit more rusted, realistic, and a bit more dull tones, especially if your zoo is a bit older. If in the back of your head you think your zoo opened up in the early 90s and the zoo's been around for a couple decades, then maybe you want to grab FlexiColor pieces and start to doll up some of the areas. You know, there's definitely some sun bleaching that would have to go onto the roofs. There is definitely a mix of stylistic and architecture designs that are unique to those time periods and to the areas in which that you're building your zoo. So with each one of the buildings, I decided that we would have a bit of foliage, and we grabbed some of the fences from across the rest of the zoo. I wanted to make sure that these felt like they were part of the zoo. They were part of the foundation. They were part of the system that the zoo is based on. So I grabbed some of the fences that we have up and down the trail here. I grabbed some of the temple pieces from the South America DLC, and I made a little bit of a garden wall that goes around the different buildings. And inside of there, I grabbed a couple, I have a handful of foliage types that I've used throughout the zoo. Some of the bushes, some of the grasses that we got with the Grassland DLC, and a lot of autumnal trees. A lot of these nice orangish leaves that we got from the Twilight pack actually work really well to go around these trees. So it makes it feel like we are settling into the North American fall landscape. There are fallen leaves that haven't been cleaned up by the janitors. It's definitely one of the things that maybe the janitors just can't really keep up on, especially when it's getting late in the day and they just don't have time between all, taking care of all the guests and all the trash cans and all the things, that they just don't have time to rake up all these leaves. So I just let them fall, and they can use them for compost later on. So I love these huge autumnal feels. I love the vibe with these big fall leaves on the ground with the big orange trees mixed in with some of the trees that haven't turned there. It's kind of like like an early fall, kind of September, October in the Midwest of America kind of vibe, and I think it's fantastic for the zoo that we built here. So let's get into the live section. It's about time that we take a look at how this looks in game. Oh wow, I didn't see you guys come in. Hey, hi. No, I'm just kidding. We're absolutely here. We're here with the live build. We're walking up the route here to the Lemur Lounge. This is one of the side routes to get in, where we're going by all these little ground lights. And we're checking out our lemurs, as you can see here. We got the red ruffeted on one side here with some stinky food. They're able to climb up all these amazing climbing structures and entertain our guests. And just there, our first rest area with the medium space here, filled in nicely with the rest area. We have a restroom and a little coffee shop. You can come over here and grab your coffee, relax, and take in the sight of the Lemur Lounge. Love that. You see a little bit of the backstage there. Not a bad thing. I think it's okay for the guests to see a little bit of the backstage. And then over here we have the central lemur enclosure. I know they could all be mixed together, but I wanted to separate them into their own little areas. That way we could like rotate them around, you know? This is the ring-tailed lemur from Madagascar. Yes? Okay, it is. I had to make sure. Look at them. I like these a lot. I know they came with the base game and we rarely use them, but I feel like I'm gonna be putting these in every single one of my zoos. They're just so iconic. And there you can see a little bit of their, if I can like zoom in. No, I don't wanna zoom in, I'm gonna like crouch. You can see the mail chute that they go through to go into their rest area. And speaking of rest areas, here on the other little medium space we had, it was the staff room. Just a quick little build here for the staff to go in and relax. Maybe the tour guides would do that. Oh, look at that. We have the white ruffeted. Is it a white ruffeted lemur? Having a munch on some of the fruit. Harvesting fruit for its family. Ah, there we go. So yeah, this looks really pretty. All right, I know I was gonna give you guys a look inside of the Lemur Lounge, so I'm gonna do that for you right now. So here we are on the inside of the Lemur Lounge. We just entered through this side gates. As you can see, we have the white ruffeted lemurs, and we just have this mail chute that lets the lemurs come back here and sleep. This is where all their hay is, all the rest area, so they can go across and come on in and rest here. Let's see if I can't see one of the lemurs move. Ah, there's one. There's a ringtail in their enclosure. How fun. It's just a simple area. I know that the keepers can't actually reach this area, but I wanted to make sure that the animals were secluded and secure in their own area. And there are the red ruffeted lemurs. Let's see, can we finally see one of them using the mail chute? I would love to see that. Oh, I think we were gonna be seeing some action here. There we go. There we go. They're moving along. Oh my God, a whole troop of them. That's incredible. So you can just see them as they move across the ceiling here. Move in and out of their enclosures, the indoor to outdoor area. Super cool. I love that. Can I get up in there? I just want to like see. Yeah. I have a mail chute of lemurs to their area, and you can come along and we walk out here into their enclosure. Look at that. So fun. All right, and that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in and watching. Remember to hit that follow and hit the notification bell so you never miss a stream. And let me know, what do you guys think? How would you fill a medium space in your zoo? Let me know in the comments below. I want to talk with you guys about this. I want to see what your opinion is. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'm your vehicle service provider. I am your dentist. I am your best friend. I am Bova Builds. And I'll see you guys in the next one.